My article is called Cognitive Science Meets Pre-Algebra by Benedict Carey, published September 2nd, 2013. My article focuses on a new type of teaching technique that is being researched called interleaving, which incorporates new topics learned in class along with the ones already learned. The idea behind this technique is students will be able to actually learn and retain the material for a longer period of time. The researchers involved in the study are focused on cognitive processes behind thinking, remembering, and problem solving. The purpose of this article is to make the public aware of this new technique so the researchers can gain enough support to be able to fully complete the study. This new technique, if effective, will allow students to be able to understand a wider array of scientific and mathematical concepts at once. I learned from this article that if you don't have support for your research may not be completed, the hypothesis will not be observed or put into theory. Also, I realized that this technique may actually be able to help the students remember the concepts they are taught instead of just cramming one night for a test. Finally, I learned that all things being researched must be adaptable to their different surroundings. For instance, in the interleaving technique, they must be adaptable to different teaching styles and different students. If I were to expand my research, I would look into all of the professionals in psychology that were quoted in this article. I would look to see if they made any further research on this interleaving technique, if they have done any other research in different school districts other than just in Florida. I would also see if they're looking at other techniques other than just the interleaving technique that may be effective in helping students remember concepts more. This article can be related to psychology in our class in many different ways. The first being that it's psychological research. It looks at the cognitive processes in students. Also, that it uses the scientific method. The first, it has a hypothesis. The hypothesis is that with this interleaving technique, students will be able to understand the concepts more likely. Then they went and observed in their natural habitat. They experimented. They got data to make a theory. Although the theory is not completely finished, they are still building upon that data and research to make a theory that will eventually help. Finally, the researchers use independent and dependent variables. Independent being students using the interleaving technique. Dependent, the students using the blocking technique, the typical research, the typical homework assignments that are in normal school curriculum at this time. This article can be related to our class in many different ways, and this is just a few.